Roger. Go for deploy.
All right, guys, we just had a Shoot the Shit episode then. Welcome back to Adventure Fruit Radio. Bill and myself probably went a little bit more down a serious path than we had recently. We spoke about some stuff in the GBS that I'm sure you'll be interested. We became quite serious, didn't we, mate?
Yeah, it was pretty. There's a lot of full-on stuff that's happened in the last.
It really has.
Last few days. So
some stuff that needs talking about, I think. I think it's always good to change it up every now and then. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need to be silly gooses all the time.
No.
Anyway, guys, just a little update from us too. Basically, it was the good, the bad, and the science for the whole episode. But let's get into the sponsors and then into the show. So our sponsors today are audible.com audibletrial.com/ADVF radio. So Audible is our sponsor. Get your free audiobook and 30-day trial there. Also, we are sponsored by Adventure Fit Radio. Check out Adventure Fit Travels, who we're sponsored by. Check out www.adventurefittravel.com for all of our trips that we have coming up. Rushing this intro somewhat because we have another guest that's lined up, and he'll be here in a couple of minutes. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoy a little catch-up from me and Tommy.
Speak to you soon.
Alrighty. So, what's been going on, mate?
Well, I've had back issues.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Well, I don't know.
I say really what's happening when I know full well exactly. You told me the other day.
We had a big chat about this. Yeah, well, as soon as I get injured, I'm like, I'm dead. I'm dying. This is all happening. I'm paraplegic. It's all happening. And so I had like the slightest little issue in my back, which I honestly believe it's just from weak abs.
Yeah.
Despite the fact I've got a 14,000 pack. It's just giving me a bit of grief. But I thought it was disc bulging and all that sort of shit. That's why I called you.
You don't want disc bulging. You'd know if it was disc bulging.
Yeah, would be able to move.
What used to happen to me when I would get bulge discs is I would be feeling $1 million. Feeling $1 million in training, feeling strong, feeling fit, and then I'd do a squat or a clean or some sort of lift, and then I'd go, oh, that was a strange little tweak I had there. Like a tiny little, that didn't feel right. And then I'd always be in denial. I'd go, and then I thought, nah, it's all right. I'd either finish the set or finish the session, or I just would never feel, it would feel so innocuous that you'd never think anything of it. And then, like, probably 6 hours later, if you put a string line or a level from my belly button to my nose, for example, or from my hips, from my pelvis to my nose, I'd be like probably 1.5 inches off.
Really?
Yeah. Like, so I get a big, huge S curvature in my spine, and I can't, like, I'm pigeon chested, my spine's all tweaked out, and I can't even fucking walk properly. So that's not all disc bulges get back spasms.
So you had a bad one, didn't you?
Oh, well, I had 2 bulging discs and a torn disc, and when I would take my MRIs to specialists, they would ask me if I'd had a major trauma before. Like, have you had any car accidents, or have you ever had any major traumas in your life? And I'm like, no. Why would you ask that? And they're like, oh, you've done a real good job of this.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't just a training injury. This is something, and I don't know what it was, but I'm thinking either football or surfing, because I've been on some surf trips where I'm not a terrible surfer. I can surf, but I try and surf bigger waves and better waves than I are. Definitely batting above not batting above my average. I'm striking out above.
Yeah.
I'm just striking out.
Yeah. You strike out a lot.
Yeah. So, and I just get fucking walloped. But But what's going on with it now then?
Oh, look, it's fine. I just I said that I had weak abs, and I struggle to hold a plank for 1 minute.
Yeah.
That's so bizarre.
That's pretty rubbish.
It's shocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
I'm the same, though. I'm similar.
I just can't do it, and I can't be fucked. Like, I just like abs and biceps. Oh, God. Yeah. I hate them.
I've been getting the gun show going, though.
Yeah?
Well,
they've been looking good.
Yeah. For one reason, for performance-wise, because I have trouble, when I'm jerking, I have trouble locking out a little bit. So sometimes I'll get red lights from unlocked snatch or an unlocked jerk or whatever. So I'll do a bit of bicep and tricep work. Yep. But the real reason behind it is I fucking hate people that would do bicep curls. I used to get stuck into my mate Rosie because we used to go into the gym all day, every day, and he would just sit there doing biceps, fucking 10 sets, 5 different exercises, 10 supersets of biceps and biceps.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's just a goose.
A lot of eccentric squat biceps.
It's been good. I'm trying to get some extra sessions in now. So now I'm getting 5 Ollie sessions in, and I'm trying to get a little bit more time to do either like 45 minutes of extras on the top of the session that I'm doing, like in the one session, or try and get a second session in where I'm doing more bodybuilding accessory stuff. And for me, it's lower back, hamstring, glutes, but also I feel like my upper back. So I feel like I need to be doing more pulls, like more pull-ups, more pulls off the ground, as in like rows and stuff. And I don't do much chest and pressing above my head, but arm work and upper back work, I think for me is pretty important.
So you're no longer Bill the weightlifter, you're Bill the bodybuilder.
I'm Bill the skinny, rakey-looking bodybuilder.
Flower pot man. That's right. Yeah. With a beard.
Pretty much. So.
I like it. Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
So you've been joining training?
Been going all right, yeah. I had a real tough... after my last comp, I had a real rough 3 weeks. So we competed on the Sunday, and then I trained Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday of the next week, and then just normal for the week after.
Yep.
Monday and Tuesday, there was hardly any volume and hardly any Olympics, you know what I mean? But I still just didn't feel like I was recovered.
Nah.
I felt like I was fucked, man.
Yeah, well, you were sleeping average, weren't you?
I was sleeping a little bit average, but I just felt like I always say chasing my tail, the expression chasing my tail, but for that perfect example of that's how I felt. I felt like I couldn't get the recovery in. It's only my second comp back from being injured for a while, so I was doing stuff like I was trying to up my float tank, so making sure I get at least one float tank in and a treatment in per week. I started doing other things just to I was struggling mentally as well, so I was telling you just before, I started doing cold showers again. Started getting back on like meditating properly every day and trying to get a cold shower in every day, which has given me a cold, believe it or not. But
so it's been working.
it's doing really well. I feel like shit. It's fine.
That's right.
It's been doing its job.
I have a serious disease.
It's been doing exactly what you think a cold shower would do on a winter's morning.
That's right.
Fuck it.
God, how the fuck do you get psyched up for that?
Well, so
4 degrees in the outside, and you're like, all right, I'm going to jump in the shower.
So
cold
during summer, because I brought up a page here because I didn't want to sound uneducated, but because I looked into little things that you can use to boost your mental focus, to boost your get a rush of endorphins, to start the day well, basically. And then I remembered reading something that was a little contradictory to strength training and stuff like that, and it might have been a negative effect, but it's not. I've done a lot more research into it, and so if you have a cold shower in the morning, for example, you can start with a hot shower. You can have 5 minutes hot shower, do it, wash your hair if you want, soap yourself up, all that good stuff. And then you can finish with a cold. As long as you have a minute, or you want to go about 3 minutes, but winter it's pretty hard. But if you do at least a minute of a cold shower.
And it has to be when you start?
No, it's when you finish. So you have to finish.
Sorry,
you have to finish with a cold. So you walk out of the shower with that invigorated, cold feeling. So it speeds up your metabolism, 100%, gives you a massive boost in your metabolism, so it's great for weight loss. It speeds up muscle soreness and recovery. It gives you that, like I said, that massive flow of endorphins to start the day. So if you start the day, it's like getting a good meditation session, and you start the day with a cold shower, you literally walk out of there like, fuck, I'm ready to go. You feel, it sucks a little bit because it takes you a little while to get warm. You got to pump the heater in your car and stuff like that, but gives you that really good boost of endorphins. So it's been shown to reduce depression and anxiety in people.
Really? Just by having a cold shower?
100%. It's great for circulation. Yep. I'm just reading all these.
Yeah,
it's great.
Right.
Great.
Good to Webster's Dictionary.
Great for your hair and skin. Literally, guys. So I don't know all the science behind it, and I'm not going to pretend that I do, but it's great it's just a great way to start the day. So Tony Robbins, we talked about Tony Robbins in our last podcast with JLD. Tony Robbins every day starts with cold shock therapy. So if you Google just cold shock therapy, like all the Wim Hof stuff.
Yeah.
So the Wim Hof stuff, it's very, very good for a number of different factors in your life. So I've been starting the day with a cold shower. So I've been just feeling really good again. And
so have you noticed some of these benefits on yourself?
Not so much I can't tell whether my hair and my skin feel better and my circulation.
They look better, mate.
Thanks, man. But just the alertness and the rush of endorphins, because just felt with training being bad, I get like mentally bad, at training, and just also like little bit shittier during the day. I'm not a fucking moping around, sulking all day every day if I'm not, perfect in training, but it affects me a little bit. I just don't feel as good as I would if I was fucking feeling great in training also.
Yeah.
So definitely 100%. Just feel like it's a good addition to my daily routines that I've been trying to get into with, getting myself off to a good start. So you start with the meditation and a cold shower in the morning. You've already won the day.
Yeah, you've already won the day, haven't you? You've already done something. What I want to know about is the you mentioned before how it's really good for muscle recovery. And I've looked a lot into this, about heat therapy. And I think for my body personally, heat therapy is the way to go. I think sauna and all that sort of stuff works really well. I just reckon cold showers just make me even I'm looking back to the days of footy where after
the old hot and cold shower, flush out the lactic acid.
Exactly. Yeah. And I would just get super stiff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just didn't like it.
I swore by it.
Didn't work for me. So you really liked it?
Swore by it. I used to go walking in the water, so rather than a cold shower to start the day, for after a football game on a Sunday, or if I was really sore, I would wake up 6 o'clock in the morning, go down, rug the shit out of myself up from the waist up. I'd have 50 garments on. I'd have my headphones in. But I would walk through the Port Phillip Bay water, which is brutally cold, especially in football season in the middle of winter. And, I think it really gave me a good boost in the recovery. I always would feel good after it.
Do you know what's interesting? I wonder if that's mental or there. I mean, obviously there has been, some sort of physical benefit out there. But my mate, who I've told you about, swears by having
10 wanks in the morning before he has breakfast.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't know why it's 10, but it seems to work for him, and he's still single. No, he swears by having like a 6-pack of beer after every game on a Saturday night, and he feels like it just.
So he's just a bloke.
He's just a bin, but he's a really good footy player.
Yeah.
But he swears by drinking because it mentally relaxes him, and I'm wondering if mentally, it's more beneficial to relax that way than it's physical sometimes.
Well, they've done a placebo thing. I mean, that's just relaxing. That's not a placebo. He probably knows.
That's right.
But even if the walking in the water for me was placebo, it seemed to make me perform better.
Placebo still is a performance enhancement.
100%. All the studies that they've done have shown that placebo, rather than thinking that you're getting no medication, if you get a sugar pill, your body goes, right, I'm coming back here. I've got what I need, and it'll fight, and it'll boost your immune system, and you'll be better than ever. So placebo is a real thing. So whether it was placebo or not, I used to love cold therapy, walking in the water.
Have you seen Space Jam?
I have seen Space Jam.
Yep. What do they drink at halftime?
Cold water.
Yeah. And what does it make them do?
Dunk on aliens.
They think it's steroid water. So placebo is everything. Guys, I'm quoting Bugs Bunny here, but what's up, duck? Which actually just applies, I just realised that.
Hey, have you got any good, the bad, and the science for
today?
Yeah,
I've got some GBS. Let me sit down and sit towards it. Oh, here we go. Okay, GBS. Now, let's talk about Cleveland, mate. Just go for it. Give me something.
You're an idiot. So,
okay, I found an article. I want to read this for you.
Go on.
So, when the Cleveland Cavaliers are done with the NBA Finals, win or lose, Kyrie Irving said he might be able to appreciate what he did in Game 5. Facing elimination on the road, Irving reached deep mentally and physically and scored a playoff career high 41 points on 17 of 24 shooting, joining Wilt Chamberlain as one of the only players in NBA history to score 40 or more points and shoot at least 70% from the field. Did you want to talk about LeBron in relation to Kyrie Irving, just quickly?
So that was one of the greatest finals experiences of
your life
that I've had. I wasn't there.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
But I did watch it. I've watched all the finals this year, and LeBron also had 41 points. It was the first team ever to have 2 40-point scorers in a finals game.
Yes.
Kyrie Irving, like you say, shot 17 from 24 or whatever it was, which is ridiculous shooting. So that was one of the greatest finals performances of all time. And all the plaudits going to Kyrie Irving, it was sick. But it's funny, like, I'm such a big... I'm a nut hugger for LeBron, 100%.
A nut hugger?
But,
I've never heard that.
But,
Jesus.
But LeBron had 41 points, 15 boards, and 7 assists.
Yeah.
That's legitimately one of the greatest finals performances ever assembled as well.
Now, for people that don't know the NBA, compare that with Michael Jordan, or to some of Michael Jordan's stats. How does that compare?
All right, so Michael Jordan's greatest ever season that he played, Michael Jordan, and this is probably close to the greatest season ever played statistically, Michael Jordan averaged 35 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists for the season. Mm-hmm. That was the greatest season ever played. So LeBron came up with 41, 15, and 7 in the same statistical categories. It's unfathomably good.
Yeah.
It's like Jordan used to score 45 in finals, hit game winners in finals.
Yep.
He would never normally have that many assists and rebounds. He would be very close, or not close, but he would get a good all-round game. But those numbers, the funny thing is with LeBron, is it's gotten to the point now where Kyrie Irving scores 41. He was like 41, 6, maybe 5 rebounds and 6 assists.
Yep.
But he shot pretty well. LeBron also shot really well, not as good, but he had 15 boards and 7 assists. For mine, LeBron had the better game.
Yeah, right.
Kyrie Irving just had never done that before. LeBron, it's like, that's what LeBron does.
I wanted to ask something though. Sorry, just to cut you off quickly. Right. I mentioned comparing the pair LeBron and Michael Jordan. Do you think has the game changed much in those years? Like, because you can compare, full forwards from today and full forwards from yesteryear in AFL, and the game's just totally different. You just will probably. I can't see us ever having a 100 goal scorer in a year and again, or for the current players we have now. Is it similar like that?
Look, you can't compare players from other eras apart from how dominant they were against their. You can statistically compare them, but it's not going to give you a real indication. The big games they'll play against the big players, whether they'll win or lose, how they could take their team to the heights. That's what you kind of compare because, for example, in NBA basketball, there never used to be a shot clock. So now there's a 24-second shot clock. That changed the game massively. Another thing that happened in NBA basketball is back in the day, there used to be 50 more shots per game. They just used to shoot. They didn't used to pass and wait for the open shot. They'd shoot the first shot. So Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, these guys, they used to average 26 rebounds a game for a season,
Yep.
Very comfortably. Bill Russell did it for most of his career. So if someone was to average 26 rebounds a season now, they'd be 12 rebounds ahead of the next best rebounder in the comp.
Yeah, well.
So that's just changed statistically, They say that the NBA used to be a lot tougher in the 80s, so Michael Jordan used to have to play against the bad boys Pistons, which were tough dudes that would just beat up Michael Jordan and all of the Chicago Bulls. They could never get past them.
Yep.
So, like, the New York Knicks, Patrick Ewing and John Starks, they were just... what was the other guy? Charles Oakley. They were brutal, They were brutal to play against, and there's not that level of physicality anymore in the NBA. So people say, LeBron and Kobe and these guys, they didn't play against these, or Kobe did a bit, but they don't play against the old, tough, rough and tumble basketballs. LeBron, for example, is a beast.
Yeah.
Like, he would excel. He would dominate physically more against these people back in the day.
Yep.
But, I mean, he's not in that day and age. So what you have to do is you have to compare the players of this generation against players of this generation.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
dominant is he against the players that he's playing against? Because they're all playing under the same rules. Statistically, you can pretty well compare them. But, I mean, LeBron and Michael Jordan, for me, are the two standouts of the last 25 years. Magic Johnson. These guys are just historically great.
So not Kobe?
Kobe... Look, Kobe Bryant's got a lot of fans. Kobe Bryant's one of the greatest players to ever play. ESPN did a greatest 100 players of all time poll the other day with like their 50 ESPN writers. And top 3 were LeBron was number 3, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was number 2, Michael Jordan was number 1.
Yep.
That's pretty... No one's going to argue with that. Well, people argue with LeBron's side, but you shouldn't argue with that.
Sure.
Whereas Kobe was maybe 11th or 12th, or 15th maybe. I think Shaq was 11th, actually.
Okay.
So the fact that Shaquille O'Neal couldn't even get in the top 10 means, basketball's a lot of good basketballs in the history of basketball.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant had a great career. I think he was a shot-hungry ball hog, but he was a fucking good basketballer.
Yeah, sure.
I can't deny he's still one of the best ever.
Yes.
Top 15, 100%. Maybe even probably not top 10, but this is what I think, and this is what ESPN, the greatest minds in sport, think. And that was because he was never, in my opinion, the best basketballer on the team that won an NBA championship. So they won 5 championships. 3 of them were with Shaq, and Shaq was the MVP of the finals.
Yep.
Shaq was the best player on that team. There's no doubting that. Kobe was fucking good.
Yeah.
But Shaq was the best player on that team. He was the Scottie Pippen for 3 championships. And then the second, the back-to-back that they got. So he had a 3-peat and then a back-to-back. The back-to-back, he won the finals MVP. And he won an MVP in those years as well. So people will say he was the best player on that side, and he led that side to NBA championship. Pau Gasol, if you look at player efficiency rating, Pau Gasol was the best player on those sides. Spanish dude, not great to watch, really good all-round player. Wasn't a superstar as in his brand, the Pau Gasol brand. So he was never going to win the. It's a finals MVP is also a popularity contest. So is the NBA MVP. You need a storyline. You need people to back you in. And Pau Gasol didn't have that. Myself and a lot of other people would say that Pau Gasol was the best player in that final series as well. So that's why LeBron James only won 2 finals. He's been to 7 NBA finals. He's the best player on the side. He's the reason they got there. I don't think Kobe was. Michael Jordan, clear and away, had a great side around him, but he was the best player. Bill Russell. I mean, Magic Johnson had finals that he didn't win the MVP. Kareem Wood, James Worthy won one. That's fine, but by and large, for me, Kobe just wasn't as good as people thought he was.
Yeah. Yep,
fucking good. But anyway, that was a long rant. What do you got next?
No, it's good. Look, so the next one obviously is the bad. Now, there has been something quite bad during the week that I thought we'd touch on, the Orlando shooting. So the stats are, from what I know, 49 dead, 53 injured in a gay nightclub attack. And it's recently come out that apparently the gunman, Omar Mateen, was in fact a closet homosexual. Were you aware of this?
No, I wasn't aware.
Yeah, right. Yes, so apparently Mateen's wife, as well as another stat, knew of the attack plans and could also be charged. But again, just from speaking generally, as always happens when there's a big mass shooting in the US, all the debate about gun control comes out, and people for it have their views. People against it say it's attacking their Second Amendment rights. Do you firstly have an opinion, Bill? I guess, and what were your initial thoughts, apart from the obvious, when you heard about it?
Well, the obvious is it's fucking just so sad. I don't have words to really speak that can do it justice in how sad it is. And it's also, I suppose, frustrating for Australians from the outside looking into America's gun problems, because we don't even hear about all of the mass shootings over there. Americans don't even hear about all the mass shootings over there. There's a mass shooting every day in America. So there's somebody dies. There's more than 2. I think a mass shooting is defined by more than 2 people die.
Is it more than 2 or more than 4?
Look, it's 2. It's 2.
Anyway, it's something small.
Yeah, it's 2 or 3 people is a mass shooting from a firearm, and there's more than 1 per day in America. And that's, that can be drug related, that can be this and that. So you don't hear a lot of it. It's kind of hidden and pushed under the carpet. But the fact of the matter is, by and large, it's just such a huge problem in the States, and there doesn't seem to be a resolution. So the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. I mean, the Constitution. Americans will have the argument, and do have the argument, that it's in their Constitution that they have a right to bear arms, and they'll use it for protection, to protect themselves and their family from other people with guns.
Yep.
But statistically, you're much more likely to shoot yourself, shoot a family member. The more guns there are, it doesn't make people safer, it makes them less safe. And I just don't understand how this isn't more at the forefront of the minds of the American culture, because
I agree.
It's just the first thing they go to is safety, protection, my family. It's
apparently as well. The Second Amendment was put in that Constitution so people could protect themselves against rogue governments. So, look, to my understanding, which isn't a lot, and so I'm happy to be put into a debate with this, but to my understanding, that Second Amendment doesn't really seem applicable in this day and age, and just fighting fire with fire from a general sense and giving people more guns to protect themselves. I see where they're coming from, But, you have to look at the stats. I mean, since Port Arthur, I'm pretty sure I can't think of a mass shooting we've had.
But we haven't had one.
We haven't had one. And that's, people can say, oh, yeah, but, the US and Australia is a different country. Sure, but that doesn't take away from the fact that we still had a lot of mass shootings. So 18 years prior to Port Arthur, we had 13 mass shootings because we still had guns around. I mean, that's close to almost one a year, And when we took guns out of the picture, we haven't had one. But even, furthermore to that, suicide has been down related to guns. Just general theft and robbery, 50, 60% related to guns. Like the stats speak for themselves.
Yeah, they do. But I mean, is it... So the Second Amendment here, I've just got it up right in front of me. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Yep. So basically, you have the right to arm yourself so that you can have the freedom of a free state and you can look after yourself. Whatever. That's basically what it's for. But when the Constitution was written, or the amendment for the right to bear arms was written, was hundreds of years ago. Mm-hmm. There wasn't 300 fucking million people in the States. There wasn't more guns in, the problem now that America face is there's too many fucking guns to do a gun buyback. The government can't buy back because that's what Australia did. It was a gun buyback.
Yeah.
I'm correct in saying that.
I believe so, yes. I believe so.
So basically, the government can't buy back 300 million firearms, 300 million plus firearms. Sure. That's insane.
Yep.
And the other thing is, Australians got sick of the point that people were dying. We wanted to get rid of this problem and hand in all of our guns. Americans don't want to do that because of the right to bear arms. The Brian Callen is one of the smartest guys that I listen to in podcasts. He's so well read. I fucking agree with everything he says. Fight on the Kid host Brian Callen for anyone that's listening. Brian Callen is such a smart guy. Grew up all around the world. Really well read, like I said, really articulate. On the Fight on the Kid, they comment on gun violence in the United States, and they say Brian Callen's first go-to is, this is why more people need guns. They need to take that shooter out. Someone needs to have a gun to take that shooter out. And that statistically, again, just doesn't happen because people don't know how to handle fire. It won't happen, but that's the go-to. That's what makes sense, by and large, to a lot of the American people. And the thing is, if you try and do a gun buyback now, or you try and outlaw certain types of firearms, which you should. I mean, there's
put tighter restrictions on them.
Yeah, tighten restrictions is the first step. But I mean, you have to be very careful with what happens there, because I feel like the American people are as passionate about their right to bear arms as they were as passionate about slavery.
Yeah. And
that was in the Constitution.
Right.
That was and Abraham Lincoln abolished slavery and it cost a fucking civil war.
Yeah.
I'm not that well versed in American culture, so please forgive me, listeners, if you don't agree with me. These are just my thoughts. But it feels to me like America is at a really, really volatile position right now because, for one, their government structure is the weakest it's been in a long time, with Donald Trump could very well realistically become president.
Yep. Hopefully
he's smarter than he makes out and
does some good for the place.
But the other thing is, this gun problem it's bubbling to a head, and at some point something's got to happen, and it feels to me like whichever president wants to try and, put in reforms, that's going to be the most heavily guarded president by the CIA of all time, because people are going to want to fucking kill him.
Yep.
The other thing is, it feels to me like Americans would fucking die. They would fight for the right to bear arms.
Which I just don't understand. You can look at mass shooting after mass shooting after mass shooting. You can look at children who are getting shot down, and yet the right to bear arms is a perfectly acceptable argument. I don't understand that. It's like, hey, look at all these people that are dying. If you just tighten gun laws like Australia and all these other places did, you can literally get rid of it. Yeah, but it takes away my Second Amendment. Well, because I'm not well versed in the American culture like yourself, I don't understand that side to it. But from my understanding, it doesn't make sense at all.
Well, like I said, it's a Second Amendment right, and that's fair enough. It is in your amendment. It is in the Constitution, so you should be able to do it.
Yep.
But a lot of fucking stuff has changed in the Constitution over the journey.
That's right.
Think of black rights. Think of slavery. I mean, at some point, the world has to fucking change.
Yeah.
You can't stay in the past at a parchment that was written fucking hundreds of years ago and think this is applicable to today.
Exactly.
Because it's not so...
And I would argue that if I was living in a country where mass shootings, like you said before, went on every single day, I don't think I'd feel as free, if you want to call it that, as living in a place where, guns weren't around. And if they want to put an argument forward that fights for their freedom, I think it's slightly ironic.
Yeah, look, I don't know what you do about it. The problem for me is there's too many guns already in circulation, so... and then there's such a demand for it. As soon as you take guns away, it's more of a black market trade. It's a real problem. I don't know what they're going to do, man.
Yeah. Do you know, one more just before we move on, there was a cool argument that someone was speaking to a pro-gun lobbyist about that exact point. They said, if you take guns away or you restrict their laws, people are going to find ways to get guns anyway. It's kind of like saying, it's the same with drugs. Like, do you think we shouldn't have any drug laws just because people are going to find a way to get coke? It's like, people are going to find a way. It doesn't mean we should get rid of laws altogether. Those laws should still be in place because it's illegal for a reason.
People talking about... My friend, one of my friends I travelled with overseas, he was on his honeymoon. He was one of the great guys of all time. His name was Dave. He was American. And he said, we were talking about gun laws. This is like 5 years ago. We're talking about gun laws and shootings in America and stuff.
Sure.
And he said he has a right to bear arms. He has a right to have a gun. Sure, guns kill people. He goes, I can kill you with my fucking hands. You're going to take my hands away from me? Which, people say truck licenses. You can fucking mow down 20 people in a truck and kill them.
But do you?
No, that's right. It's not as accessible.
No.
It's not. It's just, it doesn't make sense. That argument doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all.
I mean, we got a lot of American listeners. There's going to be a lot of people that don't agree to the points that we're facing, but this is literally what it looks like from Australia, who is a country that had mass shootings. Obviously, we have a tenth of the population that America has or less, but we did have mass shootings till 1996, and then we tightened our gun laws and had a massive gun buyback, and we haven't had one since. So it's frustrating. I mean, look, I think this is a short shoot the shit show today, so I don't think we can stay on it forever. It's sad for the American people. It's
shocking.
Just sad for
Absolutely
the world.
Shocking.
I hope something can happen there.
Absolutely, and we're always open to debate, guys. We're not right at all, so please chime in and let us know your thoughts. We're definitely not right. We're not wrong, but we're not right. Let's move on.
What do you got?
All right, so the science. Physicist Enrico Fermi, during a discussion about the possibility of alien life, asked a very important question recently. Where is everybody? This is now known as the Fermi paradox. If the universe is... I've just lost my wording here. Let me start again. This is now known as the Fermi paradox. If the universe is so big and so full of the right stars and planets, why haven't we met other civilizations yet? So, humans have been sending broadcasts into space for about 80 years, reaching about 8,500 stars and nearly 3,500 Earth-like planets. You have to think about the scale of the universe. I almost feel like people are starting to get fed up and really want an answer about, like, if there's alien life and if there's life.
Just starting to get fed up.
Just starting to get fed up after all these years.
After all these 200,000 years of human existence.
That's right. But Bill, I guess the thing is, I'm actually going to go off a slight tangent of this article. We spoke about it not in great length a couple of weeks ago. Do you think this is something where people sort of debate if they want to get found? Like, do we want to know if there's alien life out there, or are we happy in our own ignorance? What do you think?
I think most of the human race would pay good money to find out if there's other life out there.
I've heard that some people don't.
Why do you think that would be?
I think different people are sort of can be scared happy in their own shoes. They can be scared of the idea. I mean, have you seen Independence Day? Jesus.
Yeah. Independence Day 2 is coming out soon.
It is. I'm looking forward to that, yeah. No, but I think, as humans, we should be curious about all that stuff. We should always be asking why. But some people are just happy to live the way they live and just, accept that. Yeah.
I'm not happy with it.
Yeah.
It's the number one thing that I would love to find out. But, I mean, the Fermi paradox, it's a very good argument because if they are out there, why haven't we found them? Why haven't they come to us? But the thing is, you got to understand, people say, why haven't we had alien visitations come to us.
Yep.
The Fermi paradox, we haven't been able to find them, any signal, any radio signal, whatever. But the thing is, we've been in a position to find and look for alien signals and life forms and so forth, by radio waves that they put off around distant planets and galaxies and so on and so forth. And, okay, so we've been able to do that for about
80 years. 80 years.
80 years.
Which
80
is
years.
nothing.
80 years.
Yeah.
Out
of 13.9 billion years.
80 years. And, okay, so why haven't they visited us? We know the history of about fucking 5,000 years of human existence out of 200,000 years.
If that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't understand what the Fermi paradox. Yeah, it's really interesting, but I don't understand what people think and how regularly we're supposed to get visited by aliens if they are out there.
And also, why would they, if, like we say, we're such a young civilization, why the fuck would they want to visit us?
Well, I mean, I think what the Fermi paradox is saying, by chance.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have
by
a telescope
that
can see our culture and see what we're up to and what we're doing wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know if, they're probably just by and large just fucking flying past our planet and saying hello. Yeah, for me, there's definitely life out there. There has to be. I think it'd be ridiculous to think otherwise. But
I kind of look at it as, let's say, someone's standing on the other side of Melbourne and I'm standing on the outskirts of Dandenong, okay? And I've just put a signal out 80
For people that
years
don't
ago.
know where that is.
Yeah, sorry, guys. I'll be
20
specific
kilometres
there.
or 30 kilometres.
20, yeah, that's right, yeah. Based on us. Let's say I'm living in a house 30 kilometres away from where alien life form is, okay? Which is so much smaller, so much of a smaller scale in comparison to what we're actually talking about here. Realistically, those aliens are standing, in New Zealand. Okay?
Yeah.
Really far away. Let's say I've opened my door out of my bedroom, okay? That's realistically what we've done. And we've gone, hello, can you hear me? They can't even, I mean, it's just so unfathomably big. So,
Yeah, I'm with you. Couldn't agree more. Anyway,
let's move on.
So,
Hey, I'm getting a tattoo today.
Really?
Yeah.
Again, I know that, but for the listeners, I'll pretend that I don't.
Hey, I'm getting a tattoo today.
What are you? Wow.
Yes.
What are you getting?
So I'm getting a
big shalong on the arm.
Yeah, I'm getting a big I love Doc's. No, I'm going from the left shoulder down to the left elbow. I was about to say right elbow, but that would look bizarre. And it's a piece. It's to do with sort of some meditation, some spirituality stuff. It's got like a big eye.
What does it look like, mate?
Oh yeah, so it's a big like sort of what am I trying to say here? I don't actually know what I'm getting. I'm going to walk in there and just look. It's a big third eye. There's a hand that comes out of like this artistic sort of designed wall, holding a timepiece, so holding a pocket watch with a time that's symbolic to me. And it's going to have a little bit of colour, a little bit of shading, a little bit of 3D-ish sort of look. It's going to take 6 hours.
So why though? Why?
Well,
every tattoo should have a story.
Yes.
If it doesn't, cool, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
Just art. But why? What's the story behind it all? And what's the clock represent?
So the clock is a timepiece. I guess time is forever. I really like that.
But you said it had a specific time on the timepiece.
It did. So it actually refers to a date. So it's 214. Which is actually 2014, which is a big year for me. It was the year that I actually discovered all this mindfulness stuff and went down that path. And it was a big year for the family and big year for everyone close to me, which is really good. Look, it's got a lot of meaning, which I won't delve too deeply into it. But basically what the tattoo represents is the hand holding the timepiece. So it's sort of representing that was a big year for me, and it's bursting out of a wall, which was a sort of a tough wall to break through. With the third eye, which is the symbol for meditation, I guess looking down on all this. So basically, like the meditation and mindfulness, and just be just chilling out a bit, is sort of looking down on this, and I guess I've sort of changed as to who I was pre-2014, and all the tattoos that I have are sort of kind of related to things that have sort of made me a different and better person. Mm-hmm. So I've got sort of 3 or 4 now, and this will be number 1. But yeah, I can't wait, man. Looking forward to it.
Did you say you've got 3 or 4 now, and this will be number 1?
This will be what I meant was.
That's definitely what you said, isn't it?
It is 100% what I said.
Fucking hell, man. You do your maths real back to frontsies.
Yeah, that's right. No, what I mean is this is the one I'm most looking forward to. Okay. I can't believe you didn't get that.
This will be your big one, yeah.
This will be the big one.
Oh, I went straight over my head. I'm such an idiot.
Yeah, that's right. I can't believe you didn't really pretend the lines there.
Hey, we got another guest in 2 minutes.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Well, a couple of minutes.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Little update from us, and we'll see you next time.
Boom. Alrighty, gang. That was our Shoot the Shit episode. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to keep hitting you guys with Shoot the Shits just to keep you updated on what we're up to, and it's a little bit more of a chance to talk some shit and have a good time. Bill, hit me with your sponsors and subscriptions, my friend.
Alrighty, so if you like the show, guys, as always, if you could subscribe on iTunes, that would be great. That'll help us build the show and bring you more awesome content. And also, the podcast show notes will be at www.adventurefittravel.com/podcast and audibletrial.com/ADVF radio for our Audible trial offer, and Adventure Fit Travel, www.adventurefittravel.com. Get on that. Get on a trip. Alrighty. See you next time.
Boom.
Discovery Roger. Go for deploy.